say welcome to our show. Is everybody enjoying the show so far? So you've probably been down and seen all the beautiful conservation dogs, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see the fly ball and the agility and our freestyle and frisbee shows over here. We're going to change it up a little bit though. With the conservation dogs, most of those don't ever end up in rescue or shelters. With a lot of the other sports, the dogs are rescue dogs. We call them our second chance dogs. This is Emily with her dog Olivia. Olivia was from Border Collie Rescue, Texas, and she's a second chance dog. Her and her litter of 10 were turned into a shelter when they were just a few weeks old. The nice thing about doing things with your dogs is they get a chance to actually use their little brains. What we're going to show you today is something different than the sports. We're going to be doing a little service dog type work, but just based on service dog type work. To get started with it though, what we're going to do is show you a little bit about clicker training. With clicker training, you are using a little clicker just to mark the behavior that you want to see the dog do again. I don't know if you can hear it or not. It kind of sounds like a cricket. But you mark a behavior you want to see your dog do again. So you start off with easy things. You start off with just teaching them to touch your hand, and you click and reward. You can teach them to sit and click and reward. You can just teach them all the basics of clicker training. Once they have some basics down, then you can start teaching them some fun stuff. With all these rainy days we've had lately, it's really hard to get our dogs out and exercise them. So the things we're going to show you today are some things you can do to get your dogs helping you around the house. And a busy, active dog is an easy dog to live with because they're not looking for their own activities to do. So one of the first things we teach them is to target a lid. So it's basically the same thing as teaching them to touch your hand at first. They're just getting clicked or rewarded for touching the lid. Once they get the idea of doing that, then you'll put it on a drawer and teach them just to go up and touch the lid on the drawer. When they get that idea, then you're going to change it around, and you're going to open the drawer a little bit, and you click and reward them for just touching the drawer. Let's give Olivia a big hand. Once you teach them that they can close doors and drawers, that can be pretty handy, especially if you have husbands, wives, kids, people that leave all of the doors and drawers open. I had a great little Ronnie puppy that was in a class doing this, and the guy was so happy because his kids always left all of the doors and cupboards open, and the dog would go around and earn his breakfast by just closing everything. You can also get your dog to help you while you're cooking dinner. So if you're pulling things out of the drawers, you can reward your dog for coming over and closing them. See how this will keep them out of trouble? Okay, the next thing we start teaching them is to pick things up. And we start out with a dumbbell because it's a different kind of feeling for the dogs than just one of their soft toys. Because if you want your dogs to really be able to pick up a lot of things, then you really want to teach them to touch different surfaces and pick them up. So you start out with just rewarding them just for putting their mouths on it. Then you start waiting for them to start holding on to it a little bit. And then you work up to being able to put it on the floor. Once your dogs learn how to do that, then you can start teaching them to put things away for you. You start using other types of objects, and then you can start teaching your dog to recycle. Again, a busy dog is not going to get in trouble. And see, Olivia will recycle anything you give her. How about a big hand for Olivia? All right, now say you've just gone to the grocery store and you want to be able to have your dog help you put things away. This is where you can get a couple of people TV and the set, but we are kind of addicted to our remote controls now. So what we want to teach the dog is to bring us the remote. And one really nice benefit to all this is if you have a dog that likes to steal things, this teaches them that if they bring them to you instead of running away with them, they get rewarded. Now, if you happen to share a home with somebody who likes to hog the remote, it might be kind of fun to teach your dog to go take the remote when they're asked. All of a sudden, you have control. All right, how about a big hand for Olivia? Another one of Emily's dogs here, because we don't want you to think it's just the big dogs that can do this. Any dog can do this. This is little Henrietta. Some of you may have seen her on TV before. She's a very famous freestyle dog. She's got millions of hits on YouTube. She's been on the Martha Stewart Show and Good Morning America. But today she's going to show you that she's not quite the prima donna you might think she is. She actually has to do chores around her house. Now, Henry was also a second chance dog. She was bought from a breeder, and the owners returned her to the breeder saying she had a little bit too much energy. But Emily was able to get that energy focused in a positive way. Big hand for Henry. Time to do the laundry. Henry can help with that too. See, you don't have to be a big dog to do this. Good girl, Henry. And of course, she can close up after herself too. Dogs to do is how to pull on something. Now this is different from teaching your dog to play tug, because when you're playing tug you want them to pull when you're pulling. When you're teaching them to do a service type behavior, then you're teaching them to pull when the tug is still, when the object is still. Henry loves pulling all the time, and usually has an opinion about it. Once they learn to pull really hard, then you can start putting them to work opening things. Now, if you don't want them to open something after you teach them this, you just take the tie off. It's not a big deal. But if you want your dog to learn to go get something out of the fridge for you, then you can teach them to go and open up the fridge and pull something out. Now, I will tell you that they had to work for a while on getting Henry to not eat the objects that she pulled out of the fridge. And Henry does love her food. Okay, now we got it open wide enough. There you go, Henry. Good girl. And then we have to close it too. Big hand for Henry, please. You today is Emily and I both have dogs that do therapy work. And if you have a dog that absolutely loves people, that might be something you'd be interested in. Teaching dogs some tricks are really a good thing because you can really brighten up the day of people in nursing homes or kids or anything else. But your dog does have to have a really good temperament to start this. Now, Sunshine is Emily's third dog. She also was a rescue. She was turned into a shelter with her 10 puppies. And she started out as a foster and became a foster blessing because she never went anywhere. So one of the things, if you have a dog that really loves somebody, loves everybody they meet, is you teach them how to go up to people and just hang out. So you teach them to go up and say hi. Now Sunshine really lives up to her name. She brightens up the lives of people in nursing goes and visits, because not only can she do a lot of cute tricks, but it's obvious that she really loves people and she wants to hang out with them. Big hand for Sunshine. So if you're ever thinking about maybe doing therapy work, then just contact one of the good organizations, and there's several here in town, and that dog has to go through a temperament test, which is kind of similar to a canine good citizen test. But once the dog learns how to do a few basics, then they can go and really brighten up lives. Sunshine loves kids, and so we have our kid out here, so Sunshine can pay attention to her now. Ready? Okay. How about a big hand for Sunshine? If y'all are interested in learning anything more